now for the Shop Report with...
Yes, and welcome to the Shop Report special presentation of After Dark. It's nighttime. It's go time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As you see, I, of course, am your host, Double J, and I'm at home. My guy to my right, your left, though, is not. And he is none other than my man, D. Gully from the CO Lum Bus on location. Talk to me. It is Saturday.
It is Sunday Eve. It is football Eve. You know, that holiday that comes up once every week for the 17 weeks, starting in September, ending in February. And I'm here, man, here enjoying it, man. Actually, you know, we're short ways away from a pretty eventful heavyweight championship fight. Stipe Miocic and John Bones Jones. So maybe we might get in, do our thing, give you y'all fantasy pick'ems, start, sit, whatnot, and get out in enough time to enjoy that fight, man. And then we'll have something to talk about on Wednesday. So what do you think about that, Double J?
Absolutely. And of course, we are talking all things fantasy football, as well as everything that may have went on. We, of course, as Gully pointed out, you got UFC going on right now. You got Collision was going on.
Yes.
There were some collisions that took place in college football also. And so anything you guys want to throw at us, of course, we are streaming across a number of platforms right now, and some of which include, of course, X, YouTube, Facebook,
Twitch.
and then there you go.
Yep. So yeah, what you mean Gully on Twitch, what you mean Gully on YouTube, as well as the Shop Report channel. So we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in for us, man. What you got? So how you looking at this week, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling kind of irritated, and it wasn't so in the league that I need it, that I need to win, that I've been on fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully,
yeah.
To give myself a chance, because again, if you were a Christian McCaffrey owner, that implies that you got him somewhere in the first round.
Yeah.
It also is likely one of the largest reasons why you are playing from behind right now.
Okay.
I have yet to hear anybody that said I drafted Christian McCaffrey and I'm in first place. So most of them have said like, hey, I'm like square in the playoffs. I'm thinking ahead. That already is mistake number one. Don't look ahead. Just, but they are usually the best case scenario that I've heard from anyone so far was that they were 2 games above 500.
Okay. And that can happen, man. I mean, I don't know about these leagues, but I remember one of the most notable leagues I played in. I was 1-7 at one point and went to the semifinals. The guy that beat me I wasn't 1-7. I was 3-7, and the guy that I met in the semifinal was 1-8. And guess who won the entire thing?
From no kidding.
Now, yeah.
You know what? I will say this though, I'm gonna kind of tail on what you just said, which is the folks that are at the bottom for the majority of the year. One of them comes on very strong and makes like surges into the playoffs. But then you will see typically what I've noticed in a lot of the leagues that I'm in, even where I'm like, man, I'll tell you this right now, no matter how good my season was, I will eyeball someone that was kind of making that push and they end up falling just short, and I kind of exhale Because I'm like, that was the team that there was no way you were going to want to play that, regardless of where they would have been in that playoff, format. You just wanted nothing to do with them because they were. And I don't know if that's a combination of these guys like, hey, I'm losing so bad and that I'm not quitting, that I'm just grabbing, I'm throwing more darts at the waivers.
Yeah.
Or is it simply that they had an injury and then they began to get healthy as the season went on? So really, really kind of interesting dynamic thing. So in my case, it wasn't just the McCaffrey thing because, of course, he's back. But it was Thursday night. And if you remember just a mere week ago when we were on, I brought up that, we had one of the best Thursday night games with the Bengals and Ravens, especially from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, we did.
Well, we had one heck of a dud through about 3 quarters on Thursday.
Yes. and then what happened?
Well, Saquon Barkley, who I do have in one league, ended up at 42. Like, insane. Wow. Fantastic.
Do you remember where he was at before the fourth quarter?
That's
that's the question, right?
Honestly, I want to say it was about in the high teens.
Okay, still 17. I mean, high teens for your running back, right? In any case, that's a great day. You know what I'm saying? That's a great day. But the fact that he went off the charts right in the fourth quarter tell you how spectacular that game was. So
as you pointed out in the past, some of you ran into regularly was you may either have a share of a player that you happen to be going against in another one, or in another league, or in this case, I happen to go against Jalen Hurts in both leagues. He had a relatively mild day, but Saquon ending up with those 2 touchdowns, I actually would have preferred if it was 3, because he got stuffed at the 1-yard line. And of course, Philly's the only team in the league that does not try to hand it off first. They do that tush push.
Oh, yeah.
So I knew right away who was getting the ball.
Right.
And he was having a terrible day up to that point. Like, again, statistically speaking, from a fantasy avenue. And so as soon as that happened, again, this is one specific league that I need to win. Man, I started. So I'm listening to some other experts, right?
Yeah.
It's 7:45. Okay. I had to drive an hour and a half or an hour to get Aiden to his practice. And so I'm like, let me just kind of, because I had Devontae Smith and Terry McLaurin. I looked at both of those and I'm like, I want nothing to do with either of them.
Right.
Normally, if anything, I would have been a little bit more hesitant on Devontae Smith, but Terry McLaurin, it's like he's been on since his quarterback arrived, essentially.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know, man. I think you heard me say this to Givey and those guys last week, that I'm like, I brought up Darius Slay on the outside. I brought up Cooper DeJean on the inside.
Okay.
And I'm like, the Philly secondary is better than advertised.
Yes.
So my instinct is, my expertise is saying, stay away from him. Well, I listen to some jackal that's paid to do it.
And what happened?
What does he say? I love this matchup. I love the matchup.
Yeah.
And what happened? Bruh, Terry McLaurin, 1 out of 2 for catches.
Yep.
2. He had 2 targets. So was Double J right? Oh, yeah. No, never. Hey, look, people, even if I tell you, I'm going to give you a whole handful of reasons why I said it. And I'll stand on it.
Yes.
But to sit there and say, I love this matchup for Terry McLaurin, man, you should be fired, bro.
Right. Yeah. You're in the penalty box for sure.
He had 1 catch for 10 yards.
Wow.
3?
3 points?
He had 3 points.
Not a Steph Curry 3. They don't light up the scoreboard. They don't do none of that. Oh man, he had a field goal.
Devontae Smith wasn't much better. I've never, I can't believe, and this is what I'm saying. I knew better with both. And this is why, like, okay, so especially getting close to the playoffs, this is something that happens to us all.
Yeah.
Which is we trust certain players, right? There's people that get you there.
Yeah.
And
like name a guy, for example.
But Terry McLaurin would have been one of them, right?
Okay.
That just for context,
Okay.
The last 2 weeks, or last 4 games. So other than that 3 ball right there that he had, 22, 15, 24. And then he had a 20 and a 26 before that, and a 19, a 21, and a 25. You see what I'm saying? There's a body of work there that would say, I got to play that dude.
Yep. And guess what happened?
But what did I already know? What did I already know? I was naming names. I wasn't just saying, oh, I think their defense is good and they got a slot funnel defense. And,
right.
You know, or they play 2 high safeties. I wasn't saying none of that. I was naming players. And it wasn't Tyreek.
Right.
It was Darius Slay, a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean, who I single-handedly scouted and just handed. I mean, he had to do the work, of course, but he did the work, and I knew better than that. Austin, I'm doing terrible. But how are you? I hope you're doing better than I am, because I listened to some jackal, not name myself, and this is why you don't put your own intuition away.
You follow your first mind, trust your instincts, so that way you can understand how smart or how much learning you have to do. That's why we have our own instincts. We have our own experiences. And if your experience has led you to listen to us to get an opinion or insight or advice, that's a good call. When we right, we right. When we wrong, we accept accountability. Other guys might leave it, might act like as if they never said it. They might leave the room like somebody broke wind and they don't want to claim it. That's fine by them. But for us at the Shop Report late night, at the Shop Report after dark, we're going to stand by our words. We're going to stand 10 toes down. You know what I'm saying? Or in the case of Deion Sanders, we're going to stand 7 toes down. You get what I'm saying? Point is, we stand on what we say. You get what I mean? Even if it's a hit or a miss. But I digress. Go ahead. Continue making your point.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. I don't know why. I felt so uncomfortable doing that too. So for context, Austin, I played both Devontae Smith and Terry McLaurin. Right now, my saving grace is very simple. I need someone from his team to just not play and him not notice it. Or the rest of the team to go off. And that's what we're here to talk about today, because there are plenty of people that are primed and poised to go off tomorrow. And a name that I'm going to throw out there right away is Juwan Jennings. Oh, you're absolutely right. So again, full transparency. Devontae Smith happened to kind of fall into my lap draft-wise. It was not someone I was otherwise really wanting to go after. I've been really clear that I prefer the number 2 receivers. And so other options were, and this is where the bye week really hurt for me. I had Tracy on a bye, Trey McBride on a bye. So I went and grabbed Njoku for Cleveland, of course.
Yep.
And my other options were JSN, currently on the bench, and I could have done some rearranging here. Ramondre against the Rams, Hopkins against the Bills, which now as I'm learning, his matchup against the Bills actually is a good one.
What made you indicate why would you suggest it wasn't?
Remember that part I was telling you about a moment ago where it was just like your first make a decision, you look at it and what's your first thought?
Yeah.
No data is there to support it. It is just your first instinct on it. And That's how that happened.
Gotcha.
And that's how brutal this can be if you don't sit there and actually look through what's actually going on. I could still play him, right? I still might, because I have to now decide, because this is a super flex league. So do I go out and play someone like Drake May instead at the super flex position? Because even like Joe Burrow, as an example, not the best matchup against the Chargers.
Okay.
And this is part of it this is the part that sucks, everybody, is that it's like, you ever that saying, it's the girl, and you're the right person, just it's not the right time. I'm going to get deep here, philosophical.
Yeah, you might want to cue the music. You're the right person. And then think about it, man. When you're the right person and it's not the right time, what does that do for you? What do you got to do? You got to move on, right? You got to gather up.
Is that what you make of that? I'm just curious. Is that your takeaway from there?
Yeah, I'm just saying. What is that? I mean, what do you think? You know,
well, wait a minute. But
if you're the right person and it ain't the right time, that means it's an L for you. How do you respond to those?
It is an L, but it seems like a subjective L. What do you mean? Because you are the right person, meaning you are the answer. Mm-hmm. You are the solution.
But you want to be the solution for that situation, and you're the solution, and they don't realize it. So it's still an L for you. You have to make sure that you don't succumb to the situation and recognize you're still the win. You're still the prize. And get yourself up, gather your confidence, recognize that you're going to be okay, even though it's a rainy day today. You'll be fine to find that sunshine that's coming down later down the line. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess you're right. It's hard for McLaurin. So again, reading from Austin here, it's hard for McLaurin to have been expected to be bad. I thought he would get at least 8, and he started him in a ton of leagues too. My issue was that Philly secondary. I was explaining to Gully a little earlier that it was not just a general blanket statement with data. Again, defensively, if you know people's names defensively, there is a reason for it.
Yeah, correct.
One of 2 reasons, right? Which is either they are really good
or they're Thunderbird.
That's right. Or and we just Thunderbird. I Thunderbird all over that line.
Well stated. Oh man.
You cry and eat ice cream. That
don't sound bad right now, man.
No, I was gonna say, what ice cream? What's your go-to?
Bro. I like butter pecan, moose tracks.
Okay.
I like something with some butterscotch caramel already in it.
I'm gonna ask you this. Moose tracks.
Yeah.
Isn't that a Midwestern thing?
It might be. Oh, Blue Moon and Superman. Who are the Mrs. Alvo chiming in? What she got? Blue Moon. All right, now listen. Put you on the spot. Hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta ask you a question. Mrs. Alvo, this is a safe space here. You could tell us. Has Double J ever given you reason to cry?
Oh, don't answer
over some Superman ice cream? It's okay. We can take care of it. If you're out there, Mrs. Alva, just let us know. Did Double J give you?
I probably made a lot of people crying in this fantasy league. No, we've actually, by happy tears of joy.
For sure. Just like those who, you know what, we split, right? Because you had told me, right? Because I was ready to accept accountability over Connors last week. Remember how I picked him? We had that big debate. Yeah, we had Connors versus Chubba, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and how did it work out for anybody who sided with you guys? Worked out really well. Chubba proved he was the one bright spot. He's at least the one bright spot for otherwise disappointing year with Carolina. But Connors didn't do so bad. Not too many rushing yards. Did get that TD, but his versatility, pass catching out the backfield, it showed itself in big letters.
Yes, and so again in the PPR league, James Conner had he struggled on the ground, which is why my hesitancy. I'll get to that with some of my selections this week, but he ended up with 5 receptions for 80 yards on through the air. So again, he absolutely made the most of that. Again, that's what 13 essentially from just the receiving end if you're in a PPR league. Yes. And then you tack on a couple more. And of course, he scored a touchdown rushing. So he had a cool 20. What is that? A 28 in my league. And then as far as I almost spelled his name. I almost called him Chumbawamba. I got him here. He had 33. So again, look, this is one of those agree to disagrees, and whether you went left or right in that fork in the road, it came right back around to victory. So
it is.
Austin saying, I'm a cookie dough guy. I am not opposed to that either. Matter of fact, I think so. Back in the day, Sam's Club used to have like a huge tub of that. Like, and I haven't since seen it, but it was good times at least back then.
She
way to go.
Fifth. Way to go. Oh boy. So after the show, we understand you're gonna be on the couch, long discussions. Yeah, she come back from the store. Walmart closes at about 11. So then the next 45 minutes, I see you find this some Blue Moon or some Superman with only one spoon. Just understand. I'm sorry, I got you in trouble.
Well, now wait a minute. You're in Virginia.
Yeah.
I think when we were in Williamsburg, so a little further south where you're at, they had like a homemade local shop there in the downtown area. Apparently, dude, I'm telling you, so this was like a living textbook, like your old history book. If you're into that kind of thing, obviously historic Jamestown is down that way. Oh, man. Oh, we got another newcomer to the program. My man, DOC.
What up, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. I had a cheer clinic to take my daughter to, and now that that's over, I can, spread my wings and fly a little bit.
All right. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Been missing you, bro. I'm glad everything's all right with you.
Yeah.
Hey, how did she do?
It was just a cheer clinic. She said she had a lot of fun. The competition and all that's coming up, so they're getting everybody together. I'm excited for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we can repeat and get first place again this year. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
So for those that don't know, because I know Gibby and Austin specifically, had brought it up in the past. This guy, we learned, he's the boss now. So want to shout out Doc there on getting the promotion.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And that's one of the main reasons why he's been in and out here lately. So we got Austin asking, are we starting Pitts or Kraft? And I already told them, bro, I made a big mistake listening to somebody else. And so when it came to the receivers this week, and Pitts or Kraft?
Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, at Denver.
I'm taking Pitts, cuz.
I have him in the top 10 in the position for this week. I don't love the matchup.
Yeah.
And then our other option, of course, is against the Bears. How did Evan Ingram kind of got shut down?
Yeah, I'm still taking Pitts. I like Pitts.
Trying to think who has done well against that particular. Has any tight end really done well against the Bears?
Not really, no.
Yeah. So again, they're actually also they're both right next to each other in my rankings. I would say the matchup favors Kraft a little bit more, but this is about as pick 'em as you could get. I'm going to see if I can find. I'll look this on this end over here too. Do you guys know anything about the injury to Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, he's
No.
out for Kirk Cousins is out for a little while, man.
Oh, really?
Not long though. Not long. No. I
Long?
can't.
Will it be long enough for them to have a controversy when he comes back and healthy?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. I don't think Penix. I don't think Penix is going really get that much attention to where you think to yourself, do I sit Kirk Cousins or do I start this rookie? Like they obviously paid who they wanted to be their quarterback. So I think if anything, he'll just be a fill in. We get to see what our draft pick can do for future references. But once Kirk Cousins comes back, this is still our guy, no matter what. That's kind
Oh
of what
man.
that's kind of what that situation is. I'm not saying Penix is going to be horrible. I'm just saying that Atlanta, from the contract they gave him, they're all in on Cousins. So I don't see they're even thinking about starting Penix over Cousins, regardless of how the outcome ends.
Well, my question is, isn't that how Tom Brady kind of got his opportunity?
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
is Michael Penix. This is no Brady. I don't. You come on
Wait,
now. You
wait.
reaching with that one?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You gotta think about it at the time. Think about it at the time. So we understand who Tom Brady turned out to be, but we're talking about going back to his rookie season. Understanding who Drew Bledsoe was.
Actually, Cousins is playing this week. He's been cleared. He's playing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I wonder if that's why.
Yep, he practiced fully Thursday, and the Falcons said he's ready to go. He had limited practice all week.
Hmm. I almost would have preferred the matchup for Pitts if it would have been the rookie, because that would have been check down city.
Yeah, but
Yeah, makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
it's Kirk Cousins though. He'll be all right. I think Pitt still goes off.
Over
Kraft, yeah, I
Tucker
think Pitt still
Craft.
goes off over Kraft.
Okay.
That's just me. Like I haven't looked at Denver's defense to know, but looking at Pitts, he always goes off. Like I'm gonna take those points Pitts giving up.
Yeah, it's kind of an average matchup for both of them. I'm trying
Like
to pull up the point spread
if
too.
you look at Kyle Pitts, I mean, like the worst game he's had was against Dallas, and that's 2 points. But every game he's getting you 9, 25, 13, 10, 15, 7.9, 11.6. So if that's the only tight end you have, I mean, you
That's a good
see,
point.
he has high numbers here, bro. This ain't, like I said, it's not no Rudy Poot tight end that's just trying to find his way. It's
No
not.
Rudy Poo tight end. Somebody just been watching WWE.
Yeah, The Rock, you know what I'm saying? But looking at Robert Kraft, it's the same. The lowest game he's had was 3.5, but he's getting you 16, 12, 24. So, I mean, it really just comes down to the defense and how often he's going to be used.
All right, so check this
We
out.
talking
Oh,
about
Kraft is on a
Kraft.
bye week, so don't even think about Kraft. I forgot Green Bay's on a bye week this week.
No. They're against the Bears.
They don't know. Yeah, Bears is Sunday.
Oh, shoot. Never mind. My fantasy app is not updated. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's still showing. It's still showing he on a bye week. I'm like, I don't know why you're trying to start him, and my fantasy app says bye week. But never mind. I needed to update the app. I'm sorry. Yeah, they
Yeah,
played the
sure.
Bears.
All right, here we
All
go.
right, good
So,
looking up.
My bad. I'm like, bro, wait a minute. It says bye week. What are y'all talking about? Start Kraft? Like, no.
right, don't do that. Like, man, you guys had me plug him in there. He ain't even playing this week.
my bad. I had to update my app. I'm sorry. My app is a little behind. But
All
yeah,
right,
he's
so
playing.
hey, so listen to this, Austin. DraftKings has the over-under prop for Kyle Pitts at 42.5 and for Tucker Kraft at 34.5. So right away they already have it favoring Pitts, and then from a receptions, 3.5 for Kraft, and same with Pitts. But the difference is what is favored, which is if you were to take the over, for example, with Kyle Pitts on that 3.5 prop, it's at minus 135. And with Kraft, it's actually at plus 110. So both of those numbers favor Pitts. So I'm going to go with not only what the panel here thinks, but also what the folks and the guys in the desert think. And so we'll definitely go with Pitts on this.
All right, so I'm going with Pitts because Denver's defense has allowed an average of 11.7 fantasy points.
Oh,
so
snap. That's even more than what he was projecting.
Yeah, I had to really dig into my fantasy app and do a little homework here. But those are favorable numbers here. That's an average of 11.7. That's an average.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of 11.7. So that means no matter what tight end you got, they're gonna go off.
Our guy Detroit fan, man, was checking in. He said, "Hey fellas,
Okay.
So in which crappy situation for a tight end should I start? Do you like Evan Ingram on the road against the Lions?
You better off with commit.
Or Cole Kmet?" Well, we just talked about quarterback play, right? And this is now week 2 where it's going to be who? Mac Jones. And
it's the Lions defense. They ain't allowing nothing through the air or on the ground.
I should have known the homer pick was coming.
You can start Ingram all you want, but you ain't gonna get number like 5 points, my boy. You better hit up commit.
Let's see. So the receiving prop on DraftKings has him at 5.5 for the over/under on reception. So if it's a PPR league, that's something worth noting. They are both numbers are favored apparently. And then his receiving number is at 42. Meanwhile, Kmet, on the other hand, is at 24 yards. So essentially half, and 2.5 receptions. So absolutely go Ingram. Essentially, it's kind of what we were explaining with the check down thing with the backup quarterback. Those tight ends are their safety valve.
Well, I'm being biased, by the way, so don't listen to me on that pick. It's my Lions, so I'm always say don't go against my Lions.
But to Doc's point, he's absolutely right in the sense of this team's going to get destroyed. But the difference is when the backups are out there, the starters for the other team remain, and that equals garbage time fantasy points. They all still count, and so that's where there's additional value. So you sprinkle in a late touchdown, and now all of a sudden you had yourself a solid day. You got Austin going Ingram too. Yep, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Brock Purdy did turn out nice last week.
Well, and he's saying, I think even not just last week, but in general, with him being Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I like Brock Purdy. I drafted him last year. He got me a pretty decent amount of fantasy points. So
yeah, that game manager comment is slowly and surely haunting everyone who subscribed to that theory, even myself, because you're right. His production is.
Thank you, Detroit fan, man. It's our Lions, bro. One pride.
Yeah, his production is not celebrated the way it should. We placing a lot more emphasis over Kyle Shanahan, but you just brought up a name a few moments ago. Doc, who said Doc? Oh, Barbershop says who said Doc could be on the show? Well, you know what?
Well, I figured since Barbershop wasn't gonna be here, I could sneak in. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't got security. Y'all ain't got security at the front door. He napping out, so I'm like, you slide on in here like a smooth criminal.
But like you brought up a name. You brought up Tom Brady and how his career arc went, paired with Bill Belichick. But a quarterback that's capable of executing the wizardry, if you will, of Kyle Shanahan is what Brock Purdy is proving to be able to do at a consistent high level. So at some point, like it or not, we may have to consider him as more than a game manager and in fact an elite quarterback the way he's playing like he is. certainly at this point in his career. So
Yeah.
Absolutely want to shout out everybody watching, of course, on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. I would want to make mention of Adam, who's watching, gave us a like there. Appreciate that. And then, of course, those on X as well. Definitely. Oh, here we go. He's on his soapbox today from afar. He doesn't like Rasheed Wallace.
I didn't say none of that about Lawrence Taylor. Well, he been drinking too much Lucia.
Oh boy.
And Double J don't like Rasheed. I love Rasheed. Thank you very much. So he always try to mix us Michiganders in together with that.
Oh man.
What's wrong with your boy? What's wrong with your boy, man?
You know what? I'll let him chew on that while we take our first break of the night.
Hey, Cunningham, you watching the Shop Report. I'm Homie Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report. My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report. Oh, you're Jay Nolly, you're watching the Shop Report. It's Braxton Key, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Man, works at Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hello, this is Mike Hampton, and you're watching Shop Report.
All right, just like that, we are back. Definitely want to appreciate all those guys for giving us a drop and a moment of their time. Oh, here we go. Doc is not telling truths.
It's that Lucia.
Doc, not all right. So what did you say, Doc?
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, before we get to Austin, go ahead, Doc. Clear the air here.
I didn't say nothing about Lawrence Taylor not being top 10. I don't know where he got that from.
What did you say about Lawrence Taylor?
I don't even remember where that came from. And I don't know why he thinks I don't like Rasheed. Well, I love Rasheed. He one of the main reasons we got the chip down here. So double it's the other J that don't like Rasheed Wallace. Not single J, double J. That's the Rasheed Wallace hater.
Well, there was there was a party that we were at, Rasheed and I, and then actually we made amends in at a Dave and Buster's in Sterling Heights.
Oh really?
Yeah, a while back. So we've cleared the air. Oh, Austin pulled off a trade. He got rid of Hunt and Terry McLaurin for Garrett Wilson, James Cook, and Isaiah Pacheco.
Hey, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Whoa. I love that. Garrett Wilson, without knowing the rest of Austin's lineup, I think that was Givey's we seen. But I like the fact that, Kareem Hunt's going to be pretty much rendered useless in about a week.
Why is that?
Ponchero, because Ponchero coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pacheco.
And Cook, on the other hand, is someone he's still getting the carries. As much as I love Ray Davis, it is not his time yet. And he just makes the most of the little amount of opportunity he is given. And it drives me crazy because it's like, how can you deny this, these stats?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And so we'll see how that kind of progresses throughout the year. But that Pacheco, just that by itself made that deal worth it to me.
I'm not going to lie, though. The first week of Pacheco being back might not pay off for you because with him coming back from an injury like that, I think him and Hunt will still split a majority of those touches, at least just for that first game, so they can kind of get a feel for what he's actually going to do, what he's ready for, what he can take, what he can't take. And then it should start paying off for you like the second game and third game, because I feel like the amount of touches will shift more into Pacheco's favoring over Hunt's. Like Hunt's still going to get those touches, but it'll be more Pacheco than it will Hunt, if you get what I'm saying.
Right. Good call.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Bringing them back, platooning them, having a tandem back. They may accidentally put themselves in better position. Much is the case, like your Detroit Lions, they're figuring out that having tandem backs, even with the
look
same
here.
style.
Sonic and Knuckles, baby. Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles. Or somebody might be Shadow. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You know who Shadow is? My man's on special teams. That's also a running back. And I forgot what is it. We just drafted him too. I can never Slovaki.
Oh,
that's our Shadow. You see him take down two people at once on that kickoff return? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That was fire.
Not now.
And we still got Craig Reynolds. Like, we got a backfield, boy. They just don't want the Lions to go into that depth chart, man. They don't want to touch the depth chart. They don't want it.
Depth chart.
They don't want that.
That depth chart is a deep body of water. And
Man,
it's shallow. It's a deep body. Man, listen, you get
what
down
Dad
there.
Campbell say? We're gonna take you into that water and we're gonna drown you. Like, they don't want it, man. They don't want it.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate for sure.
Well, okay, so of course Gully leans more Cincinnati. He kind of mentioned that the line of fandom for the state of Ohio is really drawn at Columbus. So anything south of Columbus is a Cincinnati fan. Is that accurate?
Yeah. South of Columbus is Cincinnati, north of Columbus, north side. You're in Cincinnati, right? This is what you do. I-71 north, yep, you're going for Cleveland. I-71 south, you're going for Cincinnati. That's how it is. And in Columbus, and it's split like that.
So it's interesting he says that, because the day that I went to First Energy, one of them, I was in Bristol, Tennessee, and had to swing around. So I know, what a brutal way to go.
You went from Bristol, Tennessee up to Cleveland?
Yeah, and then I went home.
Oh, God. All right, bro.
I'm telling you that.
You need a driver. You need better logistics. Okay, you need a travel coordinator. Mrs. Alva, please help him get some type of travel coordinator. What are you doing? Just what are you? You trying to artificially rack up sky miles?
He just plugging in whatever to the GPS and driving it.
You know what? My bad, Mrs. Alva. I'm sorry. This is gonna pay off for you quite nicely. He is trying to generate extra sky miles, so that way you can take that trip to Maui that you've been dreaming of. There we go. All right, my bad. I'm not.
And that's where, again, I mentioned Arch Dogs there with the Polish boys on the corner by the courthouse there.
Yeah.
So there you go, and took that on the way back to the house. So I was good to go.
I bet you were.
Hey, my man's Austin. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little ahead in the comments. My fault. He traded Bowers for Montgomery. That's a good pick, bro. I like that.
Whoa.
There we go. I like that. Yeah, buddy. I like you, Austin. He got Knuckles, bro. He trading Bowers for Knuckles. Like, come on now.
Wow.
Yeah. He got Ponchero coming back, and he got Montgomery, and Montgomery scored almost every single game, if not every game. Like,
so his other tight ends then are Kyle Pitts, and I just feel like he could have got maybe a little bit of a. Well, I'm not sure what else he would have really needed, but he could have maybe sweetened the deal for that.
Sweeten the deal? What you mean? Bowers for Montgomery? That's a sweet deal, bro.
My only concern with
then he got Pacheco coming back. Like, dog. Like, what? He got a great backfield now. Like, that backfield is amazing, bro.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Like, Montgomery don't have to get a bunch of touches, because in the touchdown driven league, he's still scoring the ball, so he can have 5 touches for 20 yards and 3 touchdowns, and you get all kind of points off of that.
Right.
Like what? Montgomery is always a great go-to, especially when Jahmyr Gibbs can only get it to the red zone, and we need that big bruising, punishing back. And then he has Pacheco, who gonna get all those little in-between yards, if not get into the end zone, because they do have Kareem Hunt for those short punch you in the mouth runs. So I mean, same concept. He's good to go.
2-back sets.
He's good to go.
Yeah.
He's good to go.
Yeah, well, and again, you could never running back depth is something that is a, I don't want to say it's a lost art. It is just, it's almost like a dark art. If you know how to use it, like you can be very dangerous.
No, you know where you can be very dangerous? If you know how to be in that waiver wire.
But this dude, like, what I appreciate about Austin is he's pulling the trigger on these things. Like this is not something that there's leagues.
He's just telling us what he did, right?
He's trying to win the Super Bowl in his league. That's what he's trying to do, and I'm with him.
Well, that's the thing. So I'm looking at the Lions, the rest of their schedule, right? So first, again, the only concern I had about Montgomery is in a perfect world, right, that you want a guy that is quote unquote the bell cow back that gets as close to 100% of the carries and snap share as possible. But to Doc's point, typically those guys get hurt, and so he gets the goal line touches, the red zone touches, which is what I'm looking at his numbers, and I don't really see an issue here, with the exception of literally one game the entire season. So no problem there.
I have Montgomery.
And so looking at these. Here, they're going to play Chicago twice. They get Green Bay at home one more time. They get Buffalo at home. They have Jacksonville tomorrow, and then they have then they're at the Colts, and that pretty much seals the deal for fantasy football.
Okay, so look at this lineup of points that he's gonna get from Montgomery. The lowest point stat he had was 8. The highest he had was 21, but every game, first game 16, second game 17, then 21, then 15, then bye week, then 21, then 8 was that lowest, 15, 12, and 12. Like, come on, bro, them points that you probably not gonna get off Bowers.
Yeah, that seemed like a nice quality
product. That's points you're not getting off Bowers, bro. You're not getting that. And if you do get high points off of Bowers, it's not gonna be on a consistent basis like Montgomery. Like Bowers is getting you 10, 15, 19, 16, things like that, but it's not in the 20s.
Yeah, that's a good point. And again, it depends on who he had behind him. And of course, as he disclosed, he had Kyle Pitts. Yeah. So that is, you're talking about a top 10 tight end. So, I mean, my gosh, that's about as good as
top 10 tight end and a top 10 running back, and when Pacheco comes back, he's gonna show why he should have been in the top 10. You know, he's hurt right now, so you got.
What's your record in that league, Austin, right now?
Actually, that's a great question. I was with him for that trip.
Oh, you're talking about when you went all around the world.
In and out the world, yeah.
Right.
I wasn't sure if were we going no Diddy on that one with the original, or?
Yeah, we going no Diddy on that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, we are.
Different league than the Pacheco trade league. I have Hunt in this league and need a running back when he comes back. And Hunt's a 0. Do you hear that, Doc?
Okay. I mean, it's still not a bad trade. Like he's playing, he's going for broke here. Now I'm not mad at him.
All right, so I'm gonna throw a name out there, Austin, and you tell me if he's available. It's this guy. He
got Gibbs and Pitts in that league. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments because I really want to see what else he got. But he got Gibbs and Pitts, bro. Like he's going all the way, son.
Winning, just straight.
Oh my gosh.
He got a squad.
That's what I say. Also, what's your record in that league right now, man?
You got a squad, my boy.
Whoa. Oh yeah, Oh no.
At this point, I want to see the whole roster line.
I know that's what I'm sitting here.
Hey, you know what? Screenshot your roster and email it to me. I'll put it in the comments.
Right.
That's insane. That's fantastic.
You know what? I got to start hopping on here when we do these stardom sit-ems because since I got on, last time I got on, I've lost 2 games. I'm still in second place. I'm 7-3, but golly.
Oh yeah, you gotta listen to us.
Y'all help me out.
Yeah. And you let us know.
Yeah,
I
help
think
me
we
out.
went through most of our pick'ems on Thursday, right? I mean, on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. Austin's
He about to
giving
upload
us-
it.
Yep. And wow. Man.
He got a squad over there. That's all I know.
So Doc, what was that? Talk to us about the losses. What happened?
Pretty much I had a couple players that was out. Debo went out and didn't come back in one of those games. Since I'm on third shift now, I didn't quite switch my roster in time, so I had a couple people on the bench that I meant to start but didn't start. You know, just little fumbles on my point. On my point, didn't really hit the waiver wire as much because I'm getting used to the new schedule and everything. So it's kind of my fault. Should have been more on top of it. I left 20 points sitting on the bench last week.
Ooh, from who?
I gotta go back and look. Let me see.
Man. Well,
Was
then
it a
that's
single player?
why I was telling you guys that in my case, like that was exactly why I wanted to sit Devontae Smith. He really is like a long ball. He relies on it. And you know, the one against Dallas the week before.
Oh, it was 2 weeks ago. Myers. I left 20 points sitting. Jacoby Myers. I left him.
Wow.
I meant to start him, and that's the week that Debo Samuel didn't really play like that. And I didn't read the injury report. He was limited all week. Ended up coming out the game, and I didn't get as many points as I was supposed to. And Jacoby Myers had 104 yards and a tutty. Left that on the bench.
Left it on the bench.
I should have started him over Debo. When they said Debo was coming back, I didn't look at the injury report. I just thought, okay, Debo's in, he's playing because Ayuk, he out for the year. Christian McCaffrey and Debo all they got something, and he gonna go off. No, did not.
He went off to the bench. That's what happened.
Yeah, some told me to start Myers because of Debo's injury prone, but I'm like, no, they don't really have nobody but Debo, so they're gonna force him the ball, and he's gonna catch it. And even if it's a few yards, that's still points I can use. Red zone, they're gonna throw to him a lot. That's points I can use, but yeah, that hammy. What we say, Double J, them soft tissue injuries, and I didn't even think about that.
Man,
And that cost me 20 points. That cost me 20 points, bruh.
That's why I'm looking at guys like, you know, Hopkins has a good matchup. Will Dissly is a name that I never thought I would echo before. And he's got a good matchup against Cincinnati. And, you know, Jawan Jennings similarly against Seattle. I'm hoping for a shootout in that game between the Niners and Seahawks. I'm hoping off the bye. Sometimes there's a little bit of an extra step. Oh, here we go. We got Austin.
Bro, he got a squad. I already read it. He has a squad. Oh,
like,
my God.
Who's in this league?
Who you playing with and who you trade with? 'Cause some of these people you traded for and what you got, I wouldn't have gave up. Then look what he did. Look at his next comment. Look at the next comment, bro. Look what he did. Look what his next trade was.
What?
Look what his next trade was, bro. He traded AJ Brown for Nico, who was leading in receptions before he got hurt. Then he traded Lamb for Tyreek Hill, who has his quarterback Tower back, Tua, Tower, however you want to say it. He got him back. So, I mean, I see why they gave up Tyreek Hill because without Tua, Tyreek wasn't doing nothing. So, yeah, that's dead weight. But Tua's back now, so I probably wouldn't have gave up Tyreek. I'd have waited a little bit. But props to you, Austin, for getting that because whoever gave up Tyreek, stupid. And whoever, I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just saying you don't really pay attention to football a lot if you made that trade. You're not very football educated if you really sat up there and gave away Tyreek Hill for CeeDee Lamb.
The thing. They're both
when they got Cooper Rush in there at quarterback. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Cooper Rush and CeeDee Lamb. Like, what kind of QB wide receiver connection is that?
Exactly. And that's the thing. So with Tyreek Hill dealing with the torn ligament in his wrist, I believe, I would rather have him with one arm than
CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Rush.
Exactly. 100%.
Then Nico Collins is back. And like I said, he's leading the league in reception yards. So, I mean, that's great. I would have took Nico too.
Exactly. So the thing with AJ Brown, he gets the targets as a Devontae Smith guy that somehow, I don't know.
Devontae Smith been going off though. He's just not AJ Brown.
Exactly. There
the
is
number
very
two.
much favoritism in between those two, and I understand it. Devontae Smith is meant to be kind of like J-Mo, where you could see that, when that long ball stuff happens, man, it is lights out, look out. But when it falls short, the targets simply aren't there because they're going towards A.J. Brown. But Nico Collins gives you both.
Yeah.
Like in my best.
Nico's that
Keanu
dual
Reeves.
threat, that over and under. He can hit you in the middle. He can hit you down low. It don't matter. What they say, I'm just going to throw it up Nico down there somewhere.
Right. Uh-oh.
Oh, no, we absolutely
Let's
do.
see the other roster. Let's see the other roster.
Awesome. Let's see that other. Let's see that.
You're going to have to send me an invite to your league so I can show you how to get out, player. I want to smoke with all of y'all. I want to be in everybody's league. I'm going to show y'all how I get down.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Double J, you got to get a shop league started too, bro. All y'all, we got to get Barbershop out the bed so he can get in there and get in the league too.
Oh man,
we got to get a shop. We got to get a shop league going, bro.
Hey, are you watching the? Is this Georgia game live?
Yeah, it came out at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, something like that.
Oh man. Well, Gully, we talked about it on Wednesday that there's going to likely be movement. I did not realize that Purdue was going to play Penn State, and so add another team from the college football playoff, and it looks like Oregon may escape Wisconsin with a win.
By the hair on their chinny chin, my boy.
Man. So, but right now we have Tennessee driving with their Nico, and in a one-score game here early in the fourth quarter, 24 Georgia, 17 for the Vols.
Well, it's Georgia ball right now, 8:47, right?
You got 8:47 on there? Oh yeah, yeah.
8:47 Georgia ball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, look at this roster.
Yeah, they just punted it away.
CJ and Goff? Oh, dude, he has picked. How did you get picked?
A lot of people didn't pick Goff. Like Goff is still in the waiver wire in my league too, and he's been getting points every week. Like I don't see how people sitting in there. I would have grabbed Goff, but I got Tua and I got Pat Mahomes, so I'm not giving neither one of them up.
Gotcha.
Dude, oh my gosh, how did you end up with?
How you get Henry and Taylor and Bijan and Tyrone Tracy? How you get Otto? What league are you in, bro? Like, did they just ignore? You got Amon-Ra, Tillman, George Pickens, neighbors. Like, bro, let me in your league. They're too generous over here.
Hey, when you hear Doc saying that, who is historically with with the lopsided rosters.
I'd have a field day in y'all league, bro. Like you got all of that. Like, do they just love you and want you to win? Or they're like handing you the dub at this point?
I think he's in the league with bots, and they didn't know what
y'all
they were doing.
Bro. they giving you all the love. I want to be in your league,
like
bro.
how do you? Yeah, I'd have been in at somebody's commission.
You got Henry and Jonathan Taylor and Bijan. Like you win it at both running backs and the flex spot every week if you wanted to.
He traded Marvin Harrison and Waddle for Pickens. I don't like Harrison. I don't blame.
I mean, I don't like Harrison either, but it's not his fault. It's not Harrison's fault.
But that was a brilliant move because, again, no one that would be on the other side of that trade would have said no because they're thinking I'm getting a number.
You're getting Waddle and you're getting Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right,
But Harrison
Waddle with Tua, and then Harrison, that is number one, should be getting more targets.
But see, Harrison isn't consistent enough for me, which is why I would have given up Harrison. Like, what? Yeah, he'll give you a 20-point game this game, but then the next 3 games will be 5, 6, 10, barely double digits. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not Harrison's fault. It's just when Kyler feels friendly and wants to spread the ball around, that's when he gets it. Yeah, I'll be playing Pickens this week too. George Pickens goes off, bro. Like,
ever since they made that change, he's
yeah.
got one more there, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, yes, we do at this point. I wanted to bring this up to you guys. So a rumor came out on ESPN 1000 in Chicago that about a week and a half ago, as you guys remembered, I brought up that there were rumblings that they were going to fire the head coach. And what ended up occurring, of course, they were wanting changes to the offense. This was supposedly from veteran players.
Okay.
They wanted changes to the offense, and they ultimately fired the offensive coordinator. I mean, of course, that's typically how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But then a rumor came out this week that veteran players, again, worded very similarly, wanted to bench Caleb Williams, only to then, in a roundabout way, realize that these same rumors surfaced a year ago with Justin Fields. Basically, what they figured out is that it was the backup quarterback's dad that was the anonymous source.
I mean, I'm all with Chicago putting Williams on the bench too, because he's repeating what he did at USC. Once he's under a little bit of pressure or the team's not performing right, he crumbles, bro. He crumbles. He throws the balls away. He makes dumb decisions. He can't function under pressure.
But what do you think? I mean, from a team chemistry standpoint, when
Just said let me finish. The other game, he went down and his own teammates wouldn't pick him up. Like, it's something there that goes like somebody from the other team had to lift him up off the ground. Like, your teammates have no respect for you, and there's a reason for that. I don't know what the reason is, but I might think it was kind of how he was in college. It's never his fault. When he's under pressure, he don't know what to do, and he's blaming everybody else. That's just me on the outside looking in. But when you're an NFL, especially a quarterback, and the team's number one thing is to protect your quarterback. When your quarterback gets hit and he goes down, and someone from the opposite team has to get your quarterback up, that lets me know everything I need to know about your chemistry right there.
Yeah, there's no chemistry. It is
so
not,
wait a minute.
There's a rift.
Now I'm actually questioning the validity of this being supposedly the backup quarterback's dad, because obviously, as you guys talked about with what Doc just pointed out, is really eye-opening to me too, because that shouldn't happen. I don't care what team
One
it is.
Patriot players had to pick him up off the ground, and then shortly after that, the very next day, I seen rumors all over the internet about them sitting Caleb Williams. It's not like, oh, we're done with him. They just want to give him a break, let him get some time to think about, the game of football. I'm assuming that all I read was they giving him a break. They want to give him a break. They don't want to ruin him. They want to give him a break. So what I'm saying, they don't want to give him the Justin Fields treatment.
But that's the thing. That's what's really strange about this is, look, Justin Fields wasn't there for like 5-7 years or something, where he was old. And it just feels like the rumors came out in a very similar manner, right? That's not my own personal feeling. That was echoed by countless others. But the veteran players actually all spoke up and said, no, we don't want Caleb Williams benched. Even some of the people that have access to the locker room from the media side said, I don't think there's any story here. Nobody said that. But then this is where they're not matching, because I would have been totally on board that, oh yeah, the quote unquote cancer in the room was the backup quarterback's dad trying to get his kid to play in a similar way that he ruined Justin Fields' time in Chicago. But now what Doc's pointing out with having the opposing team lifting up your quarterback, that doesn't seem to align either. It just sounds really toxic over there.
Yeah, whenever you have that, whenever you see that, I mean, this is symbolic gesture. Sometimes I think it's a bit of a put on, but in the way
they're trying to stay united.
No,
they're trying to stay united in the locker room. So of course they're gonna say, yeah, we didn't want Caleb Williams benched. Yeah, of course you're gonna say that so you don't let the media know what's actually going on in the locker room. But your actions show otherwise.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, you can say I'm all for Caleb Williams, but then when we on national TV and I see Patriots players after they just knocked your quarterback on his butt, helping him up, and y'all just out there jogging back to the sideline, it lets me know y'all giving up on him right then and there.
Right.
But then again, like I said, it could be Caleb Williams' fault because, again, in college, it was kind of like the Kyler Murray stuff. It's never his fault. It's always somebody else's issue, except for unlike Kyler Murray, when Caleb Williams is under pressure, Kyler Murray never buckled. Caleb Williams is obvious in every last USC loss you've ever seen them face. He buckles under pressure, and he's always on the bench, towel over his face. He's looking for his mom. Where's my mommy? Like, come on now. It just translated into the NFL.
Gotcha.
Wow. All right, so let's take so this is after the Pacheco trade processes.
He got George Kittle. Hey.
You know what? But this is the second roster that he picked up the new starter for Denver.
Wow. What luck.
If you guys remember, I was literally saying like maybe 25 minutes ago that I was like, hey, I'm going to give you a name, Austin. Well, I didn't have to because that name's already been listed twice.
All right.
He got a squad.
Yeah, he got squads. He's got platoons. He's got
Hey, look here, I'm gonna send you my email. Just know, save me a spot in your league next year.
Yeah, Austin. Yeah, because we got to figure that one out, man.
Save me a spot in your league next year. We all 10-team league. Yeah, put me in one of them. I want one of them spots. We can tear the league up together. We can trade everybody else, all the good players, and me and you can trade back and forth. And I'll see you in the Super Bowl.
One game to decide it all.
One game to decide it all. In that game, I'm not giving you no trades. No, we gonna waiver wire and we gonna use whatever we got. Y'all ever watch Big Brother? How they say you in my final two? You in my final two, player.
Oh yeah, you see, Austin said he will.
Bet you in my final two, player. I'm telling you right now, you in my final two.
That's awesome.
See you next year.
All right. And so with that being said, we will take another quick break and then we will return and dive more into this week's matchups, predictions, and more.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home, and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same as what my friends were enjoying, and I started making up my own recipes. When it was time to pick a career, I decided to start a bakery so I could share my treats with everybody else. When I started creating my recipe, I was taking in all the things that I thought I was missing out on. A soft, chewy center, a crisp outside crust, and a taste that is just like it came out of the oven at a bakery. When I put all those things together, I had come up with a recipe for a dream cookie. Eddie G's Cookies only uses the finest ingredients. We have all natural flavorings, no preservatives, and every cookie is made in a nut-free environment. The best part about Eddie G's Cookies is that they can be delivered right to your door. You can share them or not. We won't tell.
All right, just like that, we are back.
I need some of them cookies.
Bro, I'm saying, I think we're actually right now trying to get them a part of the Marriott Bonvoy rewards platform.
Oh my goodness! So that means when you get Marriott Bonvoy, whenever you check into a hotel,
well, one step at a time, but at the very least, being able to redeem your rewards for gift cards that'll allow you to purchase those.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, how long does it take for shipping typically?
Oh, only a couple days. You got Barbershop Jay if he doesn't hamburglar it and steal it.
Oh, Brett. All right. Bet.
All right, Austin. We will see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully you win this week. Hopefully you win.
Hopefully you win. Hopefully he has a competitive lead this week. I mean,
he ain't looking at his squad. He finna maul over everybody this week. I see 3 dubs. So you show 3 rosters,
absolutely.
And all I see is 3 dubs all week. 3 dubs.
All right, Austin. Good job, man.
Yeah, diving into these matchups one quick time. I don't know how this, man. They really paid for placement, man. I can't avoid it. All right. So, of course, on Thursday, it was Saquon Barkley, a little sprinkle of Jalen Hurts. And then, really, outside of that, you were.
I needed the Eagles to lose that.
Yeah, well, I needed them to win it, and
I needed them to lose it so my Lions can have a comfortable, 2-game spread above all of the NFC.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, we the top dogs right now. We number one right now.
Back in the picture. Remember, it was at this point last season. Remember, it was at this point last season that everything sort of fell apart for Philadelphia.
It's still time, bro. It's still time.
No, don't do that to them.
Don't count them out. It's still time.
Don't do that to them.
It's still time, bro. Like I don't have no. Well, I mean, now that they got Saquon, they shouldn't fall apart like last year. But they still got time to fall apart. I see them losing one more. I don't see them.
That's what I was going to say.
I don't see them losing more than 3 games.
Well, the question I got for both you guys, especially being that you guys are, for Detroit, and you guys are big with the Lions.
Yes, sir.
Are they a team, even this year, that need to have? I mean, home field advantage is coveted, right? It's worthwhile for anybody to have. Of course, it's home field advantage. But are the Lions a team that needs to have home field advantage in order to give them the best shot at going to the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You saying they can? You saying
you could take the team out the home, but you can't take the home out the team.
Oh, okay. You can go for that.
Because one thing about these Detroit fans, they're going to show up no matter where you at. It don't matter. It's going to feel like a home game no matter where you at.
Oh, okay.
I would like to have home field advantage so the people from Detroit don't have to travel nowhere to see them win. But if we don't, so be it. Just know we'll show up in Philly. We'll show up in Death Valley. It don't matter. You want to play? You going to play in the upper room? We'll meet you in the upper room. It don't matter.
Man, he's talking that talk. He's talking that talk. Okay.
But they've proven it. You see what happened? We went on the road in the rain. Oh, y'all can't win. We won.
Yeah.
It don't matter if it's the playoffs, regular season. This team is built to win. It don't matter. But they say grit. Dan Campbell said himself, it don't matter where we at. We still gonna show out. We don't need home field advantage. It's just nice so we don't have to travel for half the playoffs.
Speaking of grits, do you have sugar or do you season it with not sugar?
It just depends on how I'm feeling. Like if most of the time it's salt and butter, but if I need a little razzle dazzle, I throw a little pinch of sugar in there.
A little razzle dazzle.
Yeah, a little razzle dazzle. Hit them with a little pinch of sugar. You feel me?
Hey, what's that word? What's that phrase we came up with, Double J, on Wednesday show?
Oh my gosh. Oh,
what is it? We're gonna find it. We're gonna add it to the next time.
Swiggle and wiggle, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
All right, so Doc, you mentioned one loss. Is it who's it going to come from? Because I don't think Carolina could do it here.
You don't think Carolina can do what?
I'm looking at the remainder of the Eagles' schedule.
Bro, you don't see that? You don't see that Baltimore right there in week 13?
Yeah.
That's that one that's the one I'm talking about.
Baltimore too. At Baltimore.
That's the one I'm talking about. Right there. That's that one. As I said, they're gonna lose at least one more.
Pittsburgh.
And I don't think they'll lose to Pittsburgh. It'll be close, but I don't think they'll lose to Pittsburgh. It'll probably be one of those 14-17 type of games, one score. If they do lose, it will be because Philly made too many mistakes. But I don't see them losing to Pittsburgh by any means. I don't.
They were talking a whole lot of smack. This one right here, this week 16 is the one that I actually am intrigued.
The rematch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, man, like Jalen Hurts was talking about, he was on Scott Van Pelt after the game, and he was like, "Well, Scott, you're from," he said, "I love DC." And I was like, "Oh,
that rematch."
He gave them a lot of bulletin board material.
What's more important though? I only see the Lions having one more loss too.
Oh yeah, bring up their schedule. We're gonna talk about that,
bro. We gonna lose one game, and you know who I think is gonna be too? The Buffalo Bills. because we do not do very well with mobile quarterbacks. And Josh Allen isn't that mobile, but he's mobile enough to where if we let him outside,
it's
a wrap.
Yep.
I'm not saying we need it. I'm not saying we're gonna be bad on defense. But without Hutch sealing it outside the way he used to. I mean, Zadarius Smith, yeah, I'm glad we got him as a replacement, but I don't see them really stopping Buffalo like that, bro. Like, I love my Lions, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the most optimistic fans you'll ever meet, but like Buffalo, I feel like that's one game that's gonna be. It's gonna come down to who got the ball last.
All right, so barring some kind of miracle, I think Jacksonville, safe to say, is a win.
Yeah, Colts is a dub. Because what Joe Flacco gonna do?
Well, no, it's Richardson again.
Oh, well, we got the helmet tapping Richardson. Once we hit Richardson too many times, he just finna tap his helmet. Like, all right, y'all come get me. I'm tagging out. They out here playing football. Like, I don't want it.
As discussed, there's a mutiny going on in Chicago right now. Just pure.
Plus, they don't have an offensive line to protect Caleb Williams. So once we start breaking through and Caleb get hit one too many times, he gonna fold like fresh laundry.
Oh,
wow. All
now,
right.
what about Jordan Love?
I can't deny the logic though. I see that.
Jordan Love is good, but Kirby Joseph gonna pick him off all day. You know, Kirby Joseph got Green Bay's number. Every time we played Green Bay since we got Kirby Joseph, he's gotten an interception. Like, they're gonna turn the ball over quite a few times. That's gonna be a close game. I'm not saying we just gonna walk all over and beat on them like that, but I see that being us like 21-14, 21-20, you know, something like that. But I see us beating Green Bay.
I bet you do. I just bet you do on Thursday night.
Buffalo Bills, that's the rough one right there. That's the one I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. Hold up. Wait a minute.
That's the I don't know one, dog. That's the one loss I see us having. That's the one loss, though. I did say one more loss, and that's the one more loss I'm talking about.
versus San Francisco.
No. What?
Very well
no, they don't have an Ayuk to save them this time.
No, wait a minute. They got Ricky Pearsall, of course, semi-fantasy relevant.
Okay, cool. He gonna be locked down.
Jawan Jennings.
He gonna be locked down.
And of course, Debo.
He gonna be hurt. That hamstring ain't gonna do nothing. Like, if you week in and week out, Debo's hamstring bothers him, bro. Like, have you not been paying attention to how he plays? Like, yeah,
I've been
he getting fantasy points. I got him on my fantasy squad, but every week he re-aggravates that hamstring where he can't play to his full potential. So unless he's 100% a go, I don't see the Lions losing to them either.
Guys, this is one of those really interesting things. So I'm going to ask you both, who do you have coming out of the NFC West?
Out of NFC West?
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, Seattle, Rams, Cardinals.
Not Seattle.
Cardinals. Oh, you said coming out of the NFC West?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's additionally why I'm bringing up this week 17, because
Cardinals or San Fran, maybe.
Just to show you guys where everything stands right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Looking at that, I don't know. Maybe it's the Cardinals or San Fran. It depends on how healthy San Fran can stay, because that's what's been plaguing San Fran all season, injury. So if San Fran can stay healthy, I see them coming out over Arizona. But if they can't, I see Arizona coming out.
You're not giving old Stat Patford himself any kind of
no, bro.
Hey,
no,
you and this Stat Patford just gotta stop.
No, I'm not giving Matthew Stafford and him any hope, bro. Like, I'm sorry, I can't.
Wow.
I can't. Like, they haven't played worth a darn all season. Like, I know they had injuries and everything, but that defense it's not the offense, it's the defense that's gonna keep them from coming out. It's the defense. They can't stop nothing. That's what's gonna stop them from coming out of the West. That defense is what's gonna hold them back. Because, like I said, Stafford, him and Puka, and my man's Kyron Williams, they go off on offense. But when it comes down to defense wins games, they defense it folds like origami. Not happening.
Are they missing Aaron Donald right now?
They're most definitely missing Aaron Donald. Without his presence on that defensive line, nobody's scared of the Rams defense. Nobody. Like, they offense is a little scary. Yeah, their offense is a little scary now, but their defense, it needs some work.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you both right now that the schedules, the remaining schedules for these teams. So for the Rams, they have the Eagles, of course. They have the Patriots tomorrow.
They should beat the Pats.
The Saints.
They might lose that one.
And then at home versus Buffalo.
They'll lose that one for sure.
49ers on the road.
Hit or miss.
Jets on the road.
They'll beat the Jets.
Cardinals at home.
They losing that one.
And then they finish out with the Seahawks.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they might lose that one.
So we had a total of one. Let's see. So that would put them at what 8-7? Or is that 7-8?
It's 17 games. Did you go over?
Right,
I see them finishing off 9-8 or 10-7 at the best.
And then for the Niners, they have, of course, the Seahawks tomorrow.
They should beat them.
Then at Green Bay.
That's an iffy one there. I don't know. I don't know, bro. That's iffy there.
And then they go at Buffalo.
They're going to lose to Buffalo.
Bears at home.
They're going to beat the crap out the Bears.
And you called this one a win for them.
Yeah, that's a win.
At Miami.
If Tua and Hill go off, it's a wrap.
And then, of course, the Lions.
Losing that one. What? These boys came to play.
And then, I mean, this literally could be for the division.
It sounds very much like it will be.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to that final Arizona and San Fran game, but I don't know, bro. If San Fran can stay healthy, I mean Debo, Christian included, if they can stay healthy, they come out the West. But if they don't stay healthy, it's going to the Cardinals.
So my question to you, Doc, is the way this is lining up. You have. It would appear that the Lions are going to get the bye and home field throughout.
That's what I'm praying for. But if Philly keep winning like this,
just put a little bit of pressure. That's all.
Yeah, put a little bit of pressure on it. Like, of course, and with me not being biased, if I want to be 100% like honest with you guys from a don't care about me being from Detroit type of thing. If we do end up losing 2 more games as opposed to that one I said, I feel Philly gets the number 1 and the Lions get the number 2. So we'll be the Kings of the North and we'll have home field for the first 2, but I think Philly will get the bye. But that's only if we lose more than that one game I said. If we only lose the one game, we get the bye. So it's really going to come down to if we lose to more than just the Bills.
Who are you? Again, it would likely be a matchup, a first-round matchup. This is why I'm saying, like, there's some serious ramifications here.
Okay.
Like, for a handful of reasons. Like, not only are we talking about the Lions getting a double bye or essentially home field throughout and the bye, but instead, if this NFC West thing ends up playing out where they essentially are in this slugfest where nobody really pulls away.
Right.
And what that means is that's likely who the Lions would play in that divisional matchup, which very well could be San Francisco.
I mean, I feel like we meet them again in the playoffs. They're going to be so beat up. We're going to beat them.
You know, the year that they went to Philly was that them that went to Philly and they had a backup and it just went awful for them? Who was the team that was like kind of loaded, but then their quarterback was out? Something happened. I want to say it was like maybe 3-4 years ago. Oh man, that's going to bother me. Somebody went to Philly in the playoffs and just stunk it up, but they never stood a chance after their quarterback got hurt. And it may have been when they had Garoppolo.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking about is this, like, what And what would you rather? Would you rather the Lions? Like, how confident would you be, Doc, if the Lions do go to Philly in a NFC Championship? There it is.
That's gonna take some thinking. I can't just answer that one. I really gotta.
Like you just stretch up after having morning breath.
I'm gonna have to sit out here and think about that one. You hit me with a tough question. I can't just answer that one quick. It ain't just like the San Fran versus Lions scenario. It ain't the San Fran versus Lions scenario. We're talking about a potential 1 and 2 seed here.
Yeah, we're talking about that. We're talking about Detroit. Do you have as much faith in them? All right.
Yeah, I do. It's gonna be a close game that I don't like. One of those nail biters where it's like I should probably go to bed, but I'm gonna stay up and watch this anyway. It's one of those. It's a real nail biter.
For example, right? If the Steelers continue on the track that they're on and make it to the playoffs, all bets are off. That's a team that, I mean, you may beat them, but it doesn't sound surprising to me. It won't surprise me in the least if they end up if they end up in the playoffs on the road and march themselves into a conference championship or a Super Bowl. That's a team where you're built, where they're performing, and because strangely enough, history still applies, history still matters. Context, in context to a roster, that's a team that on the road they ain't nothing to play with.
But going in the Arrowhead, they're not making it out of there, bro.
You see what I'm saying? That's possible because we know who the Chiefs are. But
they're not making it out of Arrowhead.
Listen, we didn't think the Bengals were going to do that 3 years ago, and look what happened.
They not making it out of Arrowhead, bro.
Yeah, well,
now that they got Hopkins, That might be a little bit too much for that Steelers secondary.
Well, we're gonna get a taste of that right here.
Oh yeah. Ooh, on Christmas Day.
On Christmas, yeah.
Oh.
That could be your potential AFC matchup right there.
Look, I'm looking forward to that. Circle my calendar. I'm looking forward to that.
But I don't
have to buy toys for youngins anymore. I could just have the day to chill out and watch that game. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, after I'm done doing what I gotta do with my kid, I'm gonna tune into that one.
You gotta build a dollhouse and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta bust the daddy moves,
Yeah. You gotta build dollhouses and all of that for sure.
Yeah, and just when I thought this is my last year doing it, I got another one coming, so I'm gonna have to start all over. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh boy.
You gotta start all over.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
31-17 was the final. Georgia went in there, or did what we expected them to do.
That's what they needed to do. They lose one more, they out of the playoffs. They're the very last seed. They got to win out. Hey, you know who else they said got to win out? Colorado. Colorado got to win out after that amazing performance they put on today. Travis Hunter, give him the Heisman right now.
Travis Hunter.
Give it to him right now.
It's not making sense. See,
he had an interception and a tutty today. I know Jonte Ashton, Cam Ward, my man from Oregon. Yeah, they all playing good, but are they playing both sides of the ball? No, they're not.
Yeah.
And when I think of Heisman, I think about which team needed their player the most. And Colorado needs Travis Hunter the most because when he's out on defense, they making mistakes. When he's out on offense, they not moving the ball like that. I mean, they are, but not as well as they are when he's on the field. That's why I say he's my pick for Heisman.
Well, Ashton Gentry, he just hit the Barry Sanders. He's on pace to break the single season FBS record.
Yeah, they said he was only a few yards off of where Barry Sanders was at this point in his career when he was in college.
Which is insane, but he did hit the Heisman pose today.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He's trying to make his case, but bro, your case isn't that strong when Travis is out here doing what he's doing, and you got the quarterback from Oregon doing what he's doing. Like, yes, you're an amazing running back, but we all know how they favor these quarterbacks. And then you have a player like Travis Hunter that I haven't seen doing that since my boy Charles Woodson back in the day, doing it and actually dominating both sides of the ball. Like at this point,
these are game changers. It's not a novelty. It's not a one.
He's dominating.
Yes, it is. He is a game changer on both sides of the ball. And yeah, he's very much a reason why Colorado is in fact in the playoff
8-2. They're 8-2 right now.
8-2.
Well, what if I told you that Boise State's only loss was at Oregon by 3?
I mean, that's fine and all, but is Jonte playing linebacker and running back? No, I don't think so.
But if he breaks a 30-year-old record, I think 30, I might be under.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, that's amazing and all. You broke the rush record, but what are you doing on defense?
Correct.
When your team is down and you need a stop, what is he doing other than sitting on the sideline drinking water, waiting until it's his chance to come back in?
You know, being supportive, being rooting on his team. He's in there making plays.
Okay, but that don't win you the Heisman. The Heisman is what are you doing to change the game?
No. You missing my point. I'm talking about Travis Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's out there making plays
on both sides.
On both sides. Yeah, that's when you talk about Heisman, right? That is the definition of it. Like, that's not the Maxwell. That's not most outstanding because like I said, it isn't a novelty. It is actually he's part of the game plan.
Yeah.
He's part of the game plan for both the OC and the DC.
He played every last snap today except for the garbage time at the very end of the game.
I mean, that's it. You know, stamina, right? That's the only question. Now, here's the question:
66 snaps on offense, 66 snaps on defense. He did not come out to the very end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I like to see what the excuse is. I love to see what the excuse is if, in fact, he doesn't win the Heisman. Like, whose college record, whose college year will be better than Travis Hunter's, and why? If he doesn't end up winning the Heisman,
they'll give it to the quarterback from Oregon because they're number one, especially if they mess around and go all the way. Like, yeah, I only threat to that Heisman I see would be the quarterback from Oregon. Outside of him, long as Travis keeps producing at the rate he's producing, he's your Heisman winner. But it's only going to take one bad Travis Hunter game for them to flip it back over to that quarterback from Oregon.
That's what they're looking for.
Because the spread is so close. Like, if Travis messes up and has one bad game, I'm guarantee you the new favorite will be that quarterback from Oregon. And it just switched over to Travis's favorite, like, 2 weeks ago?
Right.
And the spread between him and that quarterback from Oregon was only minus 134, 124, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. Right. Like this week is even smaller.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's just gonna take Travis one bad game for things to flip back in the quarterback from Oregon's hands. Or it's gonna take that quarterback from Oregon having one great game, like a Shador type of 340-something yards for 3-4 tutties. You get one of them, he's your new favorite. So it just really comes down to who's gonna play the best to finish out the rest of the season. What's 3 games left?
Yeah,
that's it, man. Right?
Yeah, so
it's winding down very quickly.
Yeah, it's really gonna come down to who plays the last 3 games of the season the best. And if Travis continues to finish out these last 3 the way he is, Travis is your MVP and he's your Heisman Trophy winner. Now, Jonte Ashton, I give him Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay,
not Heisman, but I give him I don't know what they call it for Offensive Player of the Year, but I get that to him. You can't not give it to him. He's about to break a 30-year-old record. Ain't nobody touched since the great Barry Sanders, who broke all kind of running back records within 9 years of the league. And if he had kept playing, I say to this day, Emmitt Smith would have never touched those records. But that's just me being a Lion fan, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
Lion fan, yeah, that is because
I mean, but come on, bro. If Barry Sanders don't retire that early, bro, when all them records he broke with just 9 years, and it took Emmitt almost his whole career to break, you really think anybody was gonna touch that? Let's be real. You think anybody would have touched them records? You see, it took 30-something years for somebody to break his college record. Now, imagine if he had actually stayed in the NFL and just played.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. Yeah, you know what? And I'll tell you what, it's likely because here's the thing: we had a player who was we had a feature player who was a productive back we had 2 of them with longevity as a premier or top tier back. And when I say premier top tier back, I mean even as a starter, we had Adrian Peterson and we had Frank Gore, and I think they're distant. There's a bit of distance between their records or their yards and Barry Sanders. So I think you're onto something. think you're on something, Doc, for sure.
Just saying, bro. I don't think it would happen. But hey, that's like I said, that's just me maybe being a lion bias, but just looking at it. Same with Megatron. I feel like if Megatron kept playing, he'd have broken Jerry Rice's records. He'd have broken Randy Moss's record. He was too dominant within those 9 years to just poof, stop playing.
Yeah.
Way too dominant.
Well, and that's who you guys are on board 100% for Travis Hunter, even if he breaks the all-time record for rushing yards.
Yeah, I'm all on board for Travis because, like I said, he's Jonte's only making an impact on offense. Travis is making an impact on both offense and defense. Like I said, he's one of the main reasons they're 8-2. He came up with a crucial interception today and a clutch score at almost the end of the game. Like, come on, bro. Nobody's playing on both sides of the ball and actually being that good at both sides of the ball. Even Deion Sanders said it. There's similarities in our games, but it's some stuff that he's better at than I was, meaning AKA offense. Because when it comes to defense, Prime is the GOAT. Everybody knows Prime is one of the best DBs to ever touch the field. But when it comes to offense, yeah, Prime could catch. You know, he couldn't shake you off the way Travis does. He's not going to do the moves that Travis is doing. Deion was just fast enough to where he just going to take off. And what I say earlier, throw it up. Deion down there somewhere.
Yeah, he'll make a play on it.
But Travis, it don't matter. You can high point the ball if he got to shake you off. Yeah, he might not have a bunch of fancy moves, but he knows how to get open.
Correct.
But more than just his speed. Where Deion, all he had was speed to get open. Travis, he got moves. They might not be flashy, but he's getting open.
Do you think with them potentially, because they're currently at 13 as far as their ranking, and their 2 remaining games for Boise State are at Wyoming and versus Oregon State.
They'll beat both of those. I don't know about Oregon State, but Wyoming they should beat.
Oregon State at home, I would say, yeah, they should be fine. I mean, unfortunately, it's one or the other. That was probably one of the closer games Purdue had this year, so that kind of says it all. Somebody just said to me about 15 minutes ago, we've lost 195-17 by 4 of the teams that were being referenced. So to say that someone was close in a game when you see that type of disparity kind of tells you everything you need to know. And so I'm asking you both this. Between them or SMU, who would you put into potentially that final spot?
Colorado.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I see Colorado's real test is going to be when they play BYU. That's going to be their real test. When they play BYU, that's going to be the test. That right there. Because everybody is such a Colorado hater saying, oh, they ain't played nobody when Baylor was supposed to be the team that everybody thought they was going to lose to, but they didn't. Right. And I forgot what the other team was they said they were going to lose to, and they blew them completely out the water. So it's like, it's going to come down to these last 2 games. They have to finish out, and BYU is going to be the toughest game that they have left on that remaining schedule. And long as they went out and they actually beat BYU, that's going to be if we make it into the playoffs or not. That's the game right there, the BYU game. At least that's what it's looking like when you look at the schedules and wins and losses and strength of schedule and things of that nature. They have to win out, and they have to beat BYU if they want to make it into the playoffs. If they don't beat BYU, they miss the playoffs by a game, but they still get a bowl game. So it's a successful season nonetheless. You went from 1-11 to 4-7. Now look at you, 8-2, or whatever they was last year. But that's not a bad turnaround for Deion Sanders in just 3 years of having a team, or 2 years, honestly. It's went from, like I said, 1-11 to winning 4 games to now 8.
8, right.
Like I said, if you don't miss the college football playoffs, okay, cool. You came up a little bit short, but you still accomplished something that you haven't in years. You're bowl game eligible.
Right. And listen, and count on that game being part of the New Year's Six.
Yeah.
Count on that game being part of that, yeah.
And count on me watching that like it's a Lions game.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna put them. Oh man. Now I forgot how it works out, right? That they could be a Rose Bowl, a New Year's Day game. Yeah, any one of those New Year's Day games. To count on them being there.
They're gonna be there.
hold on, let me see. When I just went ahead and looked at their schedule real quickly, glanced at it. Yeah, whooped up on Utah today.
Yeah, got the job done.
Yeah, got the job. Yeah, epically got the job done. I think was it Cincinnati week 9? That was a game that
they thought we were going to lose as well.
Yep. Texas Tech looked like it was going to be
a loss, but we got it together at the end.
Yeah. Baylor. Yeah, the Baylor went victory was good.
That's the game they said we supposed to lose. That's a real team there.
And
even when we lost to KSU, we lost to Kansas State. That was a real team that everybody said we were supposed to lose to. Even though we lost, the spread was way bigger than 3 points.
Correct.
Way bigger than 3 points.
Yeah. So the biggest loss they had was when they went up and faced the Big Ten team. That's when
way bigger than 3 points. Like,
all right, but now they got Kansas next.
And OKU.
Yep, and OSU.
OSU, I'm bad.
I mean, you can call it OSU. They not the Ohio State University, but that's about as much fandom you're gonna get out of me from Ohio State. It's tough love. I live in Columbus. I'm Ohio born and raised, but OSU.
I see them winning their last 2 games. I don't know when they're gonna play BYU. I don't know why people keep saying BYU is gonna be
because they might hold on, wait a minute. That might end up being a bowl game.
Oh, okay. I get what they're saying. I'm like, how is BYU getting brought up? Like BYU's not even on their schedule.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Double J, can you pull up the standings real quick? Current,
I sure can. Yeah, of course. Something I want to point out with you guys. So with BYU, remember they actually already beat SMU 18-15. I mean, that was way back in week 2, which sounds crazy to say.
Right.
And if you guys are both correct that all 3 of these guys run the table, the remainder of the table.
Yep.
What you're going to have is a log jam of teams that have Heisman contenders. So essentially Heisman finalists. So there's an additional incentive for the committee that they have to take into consideration.
Right.
Because what would you like? Again, yes, we think SEC, we think Big Ten. But then all of a sudden you have teams with Travis Hunter.
Yep.
You have potentially the all-time leading rusher.
Yeah.
And then you have a team that was able to essentially that could have cured world hunger and raised $125 million in literally 24 hours for their football program, which nobody else could, which is the SMU Mustangs. So it is going to be very, very interesting. So my final question with this is, if it comes down to it, and who's scheduled, just to be sure, I want to make sure I pull up the right one.
We were looking at the current CFP playoff.
Oh yes, looking for the standings for the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
What this current playoff picture looks like. Okay.
Yep. Actually, I think I have that image.
Well, I'm looking at the top 20. I'm looking at the top 25. BYU is number 6. Tennessee's number 7. Georgia's 12. Oregon's 1. Notre Dame is 8. Okay, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is 8. Penn State is 4. Texas is 3. Okay. Ohio State is 2. Oregon is 1. Yeesh.
Right. Let's see.
It's going to be a good playoff. That's all I know. This year's playoffs are going to be amazing.
So these guys at 19 just lost, so they're out. I don't see Dabo's guys really sneaking their way in.
Louisville lost. Louisville ain't going to do nothing. No way.
Yeah, no. Brom should have stayed at Purdue, and we wouldn't be a disaster right now. So thanks. And then, so they won. But who would you pull out of this group? I mean, I think everybody's wanting, like, how much are you going to punish Indiana for losing at Ohio State?
Not a lot. It's Ohio State.
But if that's their only loss on the season, because unfortunately, look, Purdue's not going to save you guys. They're going
BYU.
It ain't happening.
Boise State only has 1 loss too, so I feel like if it comes down to it and everybody runs the table that needs to run the table these last few games, that 12th spot is gonna go to Boise State, not Colorado.
But would you really
Because
take
George is number 12. You know, they said they're gonna move up.
and Tennessee's going to move down? We
Yeah.
theorized that
Tennessee's gonna move down, but I still think they're not out the playoffs. But when things get shifted around, Boise State gets moved into that 12 spot.
boy, this is where it's going
Sure.
to guys.
Boise State goes into 12, Colorado gets 13, and they miss the playoffs. That's if they win out and Boise don't lose another one. So Boise has no choice but to win out, because if they don't, Colorado gets 12, Tennessee goes down regardless. But Colorado seals that last playoff spot. That's if they win out and Boise loses one. But if Boise don't lose one, Colorado ends up 13 and they miss the playoffs.
Ooh.
That's just a scenario I see. Somebody else in that top 12 got to lose out these last two games in order for Colorado to get in. So they
got to
pretty
lose
much
both of them, you saying?
no, just at least one more.
All right,
at least one more. Somebody got to lose at least one more in order for Colorado to get in. Boise State would be the most ideal, because with that one loss, I see Boise State dropping a little bit lower than 12, honestly. Well, they're 13 right now. So if Boise State loses at least one, I see them going down to like 15, 14, somewhere around there. But Colorado, they gets up to 13. But if nobody loses in that top 12, Colorado finishes out the season at spot number 13. So somebody else in that top 12 got to lose. Somebody else in that top 12 got to lose. Somebody.
It's going to happen.
There's only 2 games left, bro. So unless it's a 2-loss team in that top 12 that don't lose not a nary another game these last 2, Colorado don't get in. It's got to be a 2-loss team in that 12 team playoff that's left to lose. One of those 2-loss teams has to lose.
So a 2-loss team got to go to a 3.
Yeah, 2-loss team got to go to a 3, and Boise State got to lose one because they only lost one. They have a better record than Colorado, so Boise State got to lose at least one. And then you need one of those 7-2 or those 2-loss teams in the top 12 to lose at least one in order for Colorado to get in. I don't see that happening.
Well,
like, you have to give me some time to sit down and actually like go over the whole schedule and do a little research before I can give you a definite answer. But from just a quick skim and scam,
yeah,
one of them
makes sense. However, I think it's more likely that we're going to get a 3-loss team than you might believe, and therefore Colorado's qualifications for the dance can't be denied, because there would be assuming they went out, they'd be playing against they'd be contending with a 3-loss team having a better ranking, and that's forgivable if you're talking about a Power 5 heavyweight team losing their first loss, or a Power 5 historically great team having a 2-loss team. I don't think you're going to get very many excuses on the 3-loss team, and those excuses, I believe, will be enough that a team like Colorado can still get in. So I don't think it's dangerous. I don't think it's as uncertain as you might believe.
So
it's not, but at the same time, if one of those 2-loss teams don't lose nothing, I don't see Colorado getting in over anybody, because
that's what I say. That's what I say. Though it makes sense. I think it's an easier path forward than it appears. That's what I think.
So, are you guys ready for me to theoretically
Go
theorize where we're headed?
Go ahead.
I'm drawing a line right here. Once we get to here, would you really want to see like South Carolina, or LSU has a 3-loss team? But do you see them leapfrogging any of these people in front of them?
No.
And so this is where I'm drawing a line. Oh my gosh, Army still hasn't lost?
Nope, but they don't. The strength of schedule, they'll never get in.
Well, do they not play Notre Dame?
That I'm not sure. I have to look at their schedule. I don't really be checking for the Army, so I don't know.
Well, right, yeah.
Be honest with you.
Next week, yep, the Army versus Notre Dame.
Oh, they losing to Notre Dame. Like, Army's good and all, but Notre Dame is top tier.
What if they don't?
Ooh, if they don't, that's going to drop Notre Dame down like a mug, but it won't put them out of the playoffs because why? There's one of those higher one-ranked lost teams and strength of schedule was a lot harder than the Army's.
So if you guys remember about a month ago, I said, when Navy was ranked, and they've lost a handful of times, including today to Tulane. There was the possibility that if Army and Navy had ran the table, one of them could lose when they played the Army-Navy game. And then when they played each other again, which because of where they were at that time, which is undefeated, they would have played again the following week, which is the conference championship week, that they could have split those games. And essentially it would have forced the committee to probably put them both in. Now that Navy's kind of out of the question, if you remember, now that gives Army an additional game that otherwise wouldn't have mattered to anyone. But potentially now it matters a lot.
They still don't get in.
But, okay, so where I'm going with this is I believe this, now that we're at 12, we're going to end up at 18. Because once you get beyond 18, you start seeing a lot of threes.
Okay.
And
that'll get them a good bowl game,
and that I think we're going to see more college playoff expansion. Not where it gets completely out of hand.
I think they need to do like the NFL. Let's get 16, not 16, but what is the NFL playoff team? It's 16 teams, right? I don't know.
No, it's 14.
14. I'm tripping, bro.
It's 18 games in the schedule.
Yeah.
But it's 14 teams in the playoffs.
Well, there you go. We need a wild card for college.
And that's where I'm going with it. That I think at that point,
because in 14, it opens it up to teams like Army who didn't lose a game all season and they still get rewarded with a chance, even though if they're not gonna get there. Right. It's just a chance. Because why do these people that have losses? I know it's strength of schedule, but you can't help who they put on your schedule.
Yeah, you can. To a degree.
To a degree, yes, but at the same time, let's be real.
There and the season plays out. I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
you put a team on that was ranked 7th to start the season, and then they somehow become, they somehow end up like
Florida State, prime example. Florida State, prime example. Ranked super high.
Right.
Yeah, no disagreements from me. I think you guys are bringing up fantastic points with that. It'll be certainly interesting to see, but I think now that we've opened the doors to expansion, it'll be easier because somebody's going to get left out here. I mean, you have 3 teams that we're talking about with Heisman hopefuls. You have potentially are on the cusp of a team that is undefeated that could be on the outside looking in, and that was the whole premise of us. That's what bothers me. Historically, we never had that issue where, it would have been resolved with just a top 4. When we had UCF undefeated and that type of thing.
But that top 4 was still a bunch of bull and jive because you had teams like that year that Cincinnati deserved to be in it, but didn't get in it, and they went undefeated, I believe.
Right, understood. There was a way of the BCS or the bowl games had to find a way to keep themselves relevant while the idea, the parity or the opportunity for parity that came with the national championship was let's say was acknowledged. So the bowl games needed to keep themselves relevant. That's why it was a 14 playoff for all this time.
But bowl games is ain't nothing, in my opinion, ain't nothing but participation award. Like, yeah, you did great this season, so we rewarded you with a bowl game for a trophy.
But
like,
understand, but that's not how
CPF.
But that's not how the Rose Bowl views itself. That's not
it's the Rose Bowl, bro. Like, if you gonna go to a bowl game, the Rose Bowl is the bowl game you want to go to.
That's the same thing. But like the Rose Bowl views itself in that status. The Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and maybe the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl.
Orange Bowl and sugar is all that matters. Rose, orange, and sugar. That's really
you're not even the Fiesta Bowl.
Nah, that's one of
Not so
those later
much.
bowls that came later on down the line. Like
The Peach Bowl.
next we gonna have a Chick-fil-A bowl and all this other
That's
crap.
the Peach
Like,
Bowl, right? That used to be the Peach Bowl, right?
no, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
I just know when I was coming up, the only games that mattered to us was the Rose Bowl and the actual like national championship. That's all I cared about.
Correct. I got you.
It was like, I never paid those other bowl games any attention, like the Fajita Bowl or what. I never paid none of that no attention. Dog.
You know what? It was just that. It was just that if you wanted football in the atmosphere during that stretch.
Yeah, there's a bowl game that was on for you to listen to, like background sports. Like
it was some noise. Yeah, you had.
I do that a lot. I find myself watching rugby. My girl, what you watch? Background sports. Like,
right, that's what it was.
That's all it is. It's just background sports. It's just some football, some type of football or some type of sport on TV. Like, and if you haven't watched rugby, check out rugby. By the way, it is really. I love rugby. Rugby is tough.
Absolutely. No, one I just caught was the Gaelic football, which is like literally a combination of football and soccer and rugby, like all in one. I was like, what am I watching? I got lost, man. That one, try to check that out if you can and see if you can keep up with it.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. You know what sport I got into over the summer because of the Olympics? Badminton. When I say badminton go, bro.
Yes, it does.
That's some of the most intense stuff I've ever seen, bro. I'm sitting on the edge of the couch like, yo.
Between badminton, pickleball, and table tennis, we always knew how table tennis got down. But badminton, I see what you're saying. Badminton, you just thought it was the game you play in gym class because they didn't have.
It's clearly different.
It is not. Yeah, it is not what you think. It is not for the tame, for sure.
It's not.
All right, and we're gonna take our third and final break of the night. We got Bo Nickel, former Penn State wrestler, who just looked like he's wrapping up. He was talking to Papa Elon and their next president as well at ringside. I wasn't sure because the feed keeps cutting out on my end. Sound familiar, Netflix? And so who's not cutting out is this guy right here. Not yet. And D Gully's going strong too. So we'll be back in just a few moments.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Homie Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report. My name's Chris Marine, you're watching the Shop Report. You're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report. It's Nebraska Kid, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Man, works at Murphy Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report. Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doc Gooden, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Hello, this is Mike Hampton, and you're watching Shop Report.
Cleaning the cracks on your pavement surfaces can take hours and be torturous on your body. Until now. Bicracky Weed Removal Tool was designed specifically to clean pavement cracks in a fraction of the time, all while standing up. Bicracky's patented design incorporates a two-sided steel blade and is encased by a durable fiberglass shell. Simply use the large end to clean big gaps, then rotate and use the small tip for narrow gaps. Made in the USA, Bicracky eliminates weeds to the root and is environmentally friendly. Bicracky. Save your back while you clean your crack.
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from the Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report, click on more, and then shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the shop tab to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
All right, and just like that, we are back and better than ever. Of course, you can join in the conversation on any of the social channels that you see and prefer to be watching us on. We are live on X, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, Twitch as well. That is WYM Gully. And so, Gully, we have UFC 309 that has kicked off. And all three matches so far from the main card have been victorious by way of decision. So no knockouts. They're showing Raul. Oh, Karl Anthony Towns from the New York Knicks is in the house as well. And he mentioned Papa Elon because we're live on X, so we live in his world. I just brought up Bo Nichols' fight was the one that just came to a conclusion, and that makes him 7-0 in his official fighting career. What's it again for Gully? If you're unfamiliar, Bo Nichols was one of the many now, because Penn State is a powerhouse when it comes to collegiate wrestling, and of course he took the leap forward. Coincidentally, somebody that had left early was one of the heavyweights from Minnesota at the time. Of course, if you think of a great fighter that came out of Minnesota's wrestling room, one Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. Yes.
And so he goes by the name of Gable Stevenson. And so he actually went to WWE for a little bit.
Yep.
Didn't quite work out. Tried out for the Buffalo Bills. That didn't quite work out because, believe it or not, like currently, especially at the heavyweight weight class, you'll see usually like defensive ends. Like Micah Parsons should have been a collegiate wrestler, but wasn't allowed to. Really? As far as like if you were to watch his YouTube highlights of what he did in high school, he credits every bit of his ability to have that fast twitch from wrestling.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I always encourage that. Like when a lot of people ask me like, hey, what can I put my kid in to kind of help with his, agility and everything else? That's, usually a little bit more affordable because it's offered through the schools, of course. I always tell them like, especially if they're playing either O-line or D-line.
Yeah.
Get in that wrestling room, and obviously there's a ton of disciplines that are necessary in order to even just be. That's the thing, man. Like, how many times have you had a bad day, and it's like, well, I still get to play. Have a bad day, dude. You step on that scale, man, and it's like, nope, we'll see you next week. Like,
right?
Like, gosh darn it, Bernice.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about wrestling and boxing. Getting in shape for that, the skill sets you learn and the physical and mental conditioning you have, you develop from either of those sports, you'll be fit for life, and you'll be fit for darn near anything outside of the military, right? So it stands to reason that you're a tough son of a gun. You know what I mean? Wrestling or fighting. So you want to get yourself in shape. You want to test yourself, test your limits. Do either of those, and the skill set again that you learn by wrestling, something that'll translate, for the rest of your life.
So check this out. So again, Bo Nickal now 7-0 officially, beat Paul Craig, who was 17-9. Then of course we had Vivian Arujo that won by decision. She's now 13-6 in the women's flyweight, and then at the catchweight. We had Mauricio Ruffi, who is now 11-1, beating James Liontop and putting him at 14-5. The next fight, dude. The next fight is Michael Chandler.
Yep.
And Charles Oliveira. How are, like, these are two vets.
Yeah. You know what, man? I can't call it. I cannot call it Chandler versus it's a pick 'em, you know what I mean? It's a pick 'em. Somebody said, hey, listen, I give you $10,000 to make a decision. That's $10,000 I'm gonna have to walk away from. But you know what I mean? Let's say they put me on an EKG and was like, yo, you got to make an honest decision on who you pick. If I detect you lying about your decision, you don't get it. That's $10,000 I won't get. Get what I'm saying? I don't know how to call that one. But I expect it to be a great fight. In your opinion, who you think? Who's your favorite? Who do you like?
So right now, Charles is making his way to the ring. They have the point spread, and I don't quite understand the point spread part of it when it comes to betting MMA. I'm more of a money line guy. Just give me, again, typically if I'm really confident, I'll pick the means of doing it. Because again, like if a guy's a submission guy, then that's going to be typically how I beat somebody. So they currently, this is what's really astounding to me. The over under on the rounds right now is 1.5. And they currently have favored, Michael Chandler is the underdog here.
Really?
I thought this thing would be a little bit closer than that. Like it's plus 215 for Michael Chandler. And again, live odds will of course change, the minute somebody gets punched, right?
Right.
Because this stuff flips on its head quickly.
Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, right?
Literally. And so I'm looking at this and I, again, similar styles, but I didn't view this as some kind of again, the reach, Charles has a little bit more when it comes to the reach game, but I don't know, man. I'm looking at this now. We got Michael Chandler's coming to the ring now from the live look, and oh man, like he's getting a good reaction from the crowd.
Okay,
a good pop. I'm really kind of torn about this. Like this.
See? All right, see, it ain't just me.
No, and that's the thing. Like when I look at a line like that, I get more enticed to go with. I get concerned, right?
Yeah.
With the underdog, like because I'm like, man, what am I missing, right? At that point, you start saying, okay, there's got to be more to this as to why he's so favored.
Gotcha.
And that's what I'm trying to see here. But yeah, they're just getting through now. And so we'll be live here with them, breaking this down round by round here over the next minute or so. And let's see here. Just as a heads up, the stability portion of it is a whole nother thing. But so bear with me just a second. Let's see. Get this off of there. And well, it looks like everybody's there too, even just checking kind of the Twitter feed.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see how. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh. Did you get a chance to see the no look? Oh. I wonder, are we allowed to show this clip?
I don't think so.
GIF. What do they call it? A GIF or a GIF?
It's funny. The creator of the format says it's pronounced GIF, but the reason why it's called GIF or the reason for the spelling is because it's short for graphical image format. But if it's based off of this the initials or whatnot, the abbreviation for G in that name is a hard G for G, not a soft G for J. So despite his own understanding or his own explanation, GIF should be what we call it. But I didn't create it. I'm not that smart with computers. So I'm gonna just let it be the way the man said. It's pronounced GIF.
Yeah, well, right. And we'll go with that as well. Looking at this here, obviously Charles just getting to the ring himself. How's your end looking? I know my my Netflix has been spotty at best.
Yeah, same here, bro. I'm not able to.
Yeah, the refresh button is going to go a long way for us tonight.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so just kind of from the preview side, of course, from Charles's end, as a reminder, his last fight was in April, so it's been a little while. He did lose by way of decision, and again, highly decorated. Leg kicks for days. The takedowns from the clinch, again, just transition grappler like that. 21 of those victories that he has. I mean, I have to go back and count exactly how many he has because he has that many. But 21 of them have been submission wins. And that's, dude, whenever you're getting in the ring with the submission guys, like on the octagon in this case, but things can change on a dime. So when I start seeing things like strong takedowns in transitions, and then you could submit somebody, like that just is a recipe for the game plan.
Yep.
You could be ahead in every category, and then one in that order, that occurring, and you're 9-9.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, from you know what? From Michael Chandler's end, dude, he hasn't fought. I can't believe that last one. I'm shocked right now. I forgot that last one that he fought, and I thought he fought after this was when he got submitted by Dustin, in 2022.
Yeah,
dude, I could have sworn. I'm like, I have to be missing something. He had to have fought in between, and that's why he's favored again. Like, no. Oh, bro, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you right now. This guy, Double J, would have been on the money line. Let's put my money where my mouth is here. No, did my phone just die? Oh, I'm saying.
Yeah, bro. It ain't happening for me. It ain't happening.
Oh, I know. You're gonna have to believe me. That I don't know. They're spamming that thing too. By the way, driving me crazy in the comments. And so I'm looking at this and saying to myself, put a Happy Meal on, a submission going the other way. 10 TKO, 10 knockouts isn't enough.
Gotcha.
But BYU, by the way, is tied at halftime.
Really?
Yeah.
With
I didn't see that coming. They are at home to Kansas.
Oh, okay.
But where's my MMA at? There it is. Okay. Here we go. So again, live fight line. No, this thing, even DraftKings is killing me right now. Here we go. Okay. All right. So again, they have Michael Chandler as the underdog. Whoa, did something change? Hang on a second. I'm looking at.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it just flipped. It just flipped big time.
Oh,
Charles
really?
is now the favorite at minus 425.
Wow. What did they see?
Dude, that's either some really late money or what my live feed is so far behind that I'm missing something. Because I still have him standing in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, somebody must have got kicked in the face.
Right. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
and
I'll
then
tell
we,
you.
of course, go ahead.
No, you got it.
I was going to say, and then of course the main event is John Bones Jones back, and of course, I mean he's a heavy favorite.
I'll tell you what. Despite despite one's personal convictions on whether John Bones will win, I'm like the money is so compelling that $1 or $2 on Stipe might do you well.
Oh yeah, let's see what I mean about kind of a happy meal going the other way. Can
right?
You end up having your luxury of choice.
Well, who you taking in that fight,
dude? I always kind of like I hate trying to go against John Jones. It just historically, I rarely have.
Right.
And oh yeah, you gotta power through those. Keep clicking.
No, it's bro. This has been 20 minutes. 3 different browsers.
Oh, you know what I could probably do here. Look down in the bottom. Here, I'll do that. If I get it going here, you'll be able to. And yeah, I guess they're having some issues like yesterday.
Yeah, they are.
But I'm a little surprised. It's usually a little bit better than that.
Yeah. Speaking of yesterday, people were surprised that a 27-year-old man like that. Well, I'm like, man, listen, it's not a real street fight, and the guy's 58. I said exactly how this was going to have to happen. Said Jake Paul was going to have to smother him. Like, well, Tyson Peekaboo fighting from the inside. I said, listen, his only chance is to smother him. Smother him early, let that heavy weight lean up on Tyson's older legs, and Tyson would be tired very fast. That's exactly what happened. You had to smother him like a fire extinguisher. You have to smother the fire with a blanket, and then it loses its pop. Man, Tyson looked like he was surviving a KO moment every round after the second round. That's what, and people may say it was embarrassing or what have you. I don't think it's embarrassing. I mean, the guy was in there for 8 rounds. I hope he's physically okay. That's a lot on a person that age who may have it in his wisdom and have it in his instincts, but at 58, you haven't been training for this time. You haven't been training at that time. You haven't been active at that high level for several years. Your instincts and your fast twitch muscles and your muscle memory may come back to you, but you still are in an older body that hasn't been keeping up with the regimen that it took for you to master those skills. What's going to happen this way? But again, we're talking about a boxing match. I'm not talking about Mike Tyson being in the street fight. Good luck if you want to try to test yourself in a street fight versus a guy who went into a boxing ring. It's totally different environment. And I'd caution you not to do that. But nonetheless, Jake Paul is living every man's dream. Like, I don't know why he ain't going to come to the ring playing, I think I could beat Mike Tyson.
Well, I think he beat him at his own game because, again, I actually seen something this morning, showing the scene from The Hangover where he plays the air of the night.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, what it was captioned with was, if Mike comes out to this, he's winning. And it was, of course, Jake Paul that came out using that.
Yeah.
So again, just, and then of course, what do you make of the rule that if Mike had knocked him out in round 1, he wouldn't have really made any money, but if he would have made it through all 8 rounds, he would have had the highest opportunity.
Right, it's to save somebody from getting whooped. And Mike, was up for the challenge of trying to last that long, and which he did. You could tell he pulled punches and he held back, because if his instinct had taken over, he would have really fought and really tried to get it, Jake Paul. That could have been to Mike's detriment as well, because again, Jake Paul is 27 years old. He's at his he's at or near his physical peak. So the guy is still a big man that can throw hands to whatever limited degree you want to say, but he's a big man that can throw hands, and he proved that yesterday. Now, there are plenty of other boxers, professional, world champs, former champs, professionals of any class, professionals of various degrees of success that Jake Paul could have been in the ring with. That if Jake Paul does get in the ring with, he will be embarrassed. But for now, he's positioned himself where he don't have to take those risks in order to get fights and get, in order to get fights and win them and make people, and get people to watch and want to invest their time in it. But I wasn't too surprised. Hopeful that maybe we might see something different, but I wasn't too surprised.
Yeah. Again, hard to argue that. I thought Mike tweaked something in his leg that really early on, when he kind of landed some early punches, then all of a sudden it felt like I watched his right leg that had the brace buckle.
Yes.
And after that, he was just never the same. And I felt terrible for him, but obviously he didn't reference that at all this, today when he said what he said and hang on just a second. And just to finish that thought, just once that occurred, his mobility was gone.
Yes.
And
Roy Jones Jr. kept talking about it. He was like, I don't like his legs. I don't like his legs. Yeah, it certainly seems like now what you're saying does make sense. It seems like he might have tweaked something. I noticed that his legs was gone. I thought he was just physically just worn out and he was exhausted. But it looks like, no, in your case, you're saying something happened. And yeah, so something happened, and he couldn't recover from it. He had to survive the entire night.
Right, and that's the thing. So it's disappointing. But who do you think Jake Paul should fight next?
Roy Jones Jr.
That's it was interesting. Someone said that to me yesterday, that him beating Mike could have inspired some of the guys that were in that venue, like Holyfield or Roy Jones.
Yeah.
To say, you know what, I actually think I could have handled this better.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And let's see. And so, yeah, it's just right now, again, we're in appears we're in round 2, and getting the live odds also in this UFC 309 fight. Here we go. It's currently Charles is now a huge favorite at minus 1050. Michael Chandler is at plus 600. So this thing flipped.
Yeah, it flipped like a light switch.
Oh, yeah. And so I would have been very happy with that Happy Meal, at least for now.
Right.
And so, yeah, but ultimately here, any bold final predictions from you with the remainder of our main event for this evening with UFC and in general?
John Jones is going to again make his case that he is the greatest of our current generation. And I think he's going to do it in a spectacular way. What happens after this, I'm not sure. But remember, the move up to heavyweight seemed like a novelty, seemed like a gimmick, seemed like he was treading in deeper waters than he should. And he only made it, only continued to impress us in a way that he was able to still be himself, still exert his control and dominance and survive the way John Jones has done much of his career. Tonight, I don't think will be any different. And if it is, it's because Stipe will have the best fight of his career. So barring that, I think John Jones continues to make his case that he's the greatest of our lifetime. I don't say greatest of all time because, UFC is going to look different 10, 15 years from now. And when it does, it'll be because of the fighters of that era. The best of our lifetime to date, yes. Ahead of Anderson Silva, who I had the pleasure to watch. Yes, ahead of it, ahead of GSP, ahead of Conor McGregor, ahead of Khabib, certainly, no question. And tonight's going to be that way. So if you're asking for me, my pick, my heart saying John Jones, but yeah, throw a Happy Meal Stipe's way, and in that way you won't be upset, win or lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just to keep you updated with about 40 seconds left, the just in the top position, Charles was in round 1, almost 3.5 minutes in round 1 in the top position, and 2 minutes and 5 seconds in counting in that second round. Wow. So yeah, this is a kind of a domination. It looks like this thing is going to be done and dusted, and we're going to be moving on right to that actual main event here. And we're going to let everybody get to that. And of course, we'll be back with you on Monday for talking more Squared Circle. Breaking down
the WWE and other things professional wrestling wise. Probably recap some of this from UFC as well. You can catch this on Twitch at What You Mean Gully, YouTube What You Mean Gully, the Shop Report's fan page, Shop Report on Instagram and Facebook, and wherever you consume your social media content. We thank you and appreciate you hanging with us on the late night. Hopefully we give you some valuable picks and opinions. And I tell you what, Double J, man, it's great having another time with you, man. Reaching out on the late night to talk all things sports. And like we say, like our host, Barbershop, for our host, Barbershop, and for you, Double J, like we say, next time you want to know what's going on, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.